Okay, so it's been a while since we've done one of these. This is another transfer roundup, and boy oh boy, I've let it slip. So there's a lot to get through in this one. We are going to go straight on with it. We are looking at pretty much every region. We're going to start off in Australia, where we see Elva, the Korean DPS player, move from dark mode, from a split allegiance with dark mode NA and Dire Wolves, and we'll move over straight to Dire Wolves and play for them in the future with no association with dark mode NA anymore. I wish him all the best at his with his full contract at Dire Wolves. Then we see Joel, the coach, the Australian coach, who was coach of Susuno in NA contenders, as well as Ground Zero Gaming in Australian contenders. He's moving out of that Susuno role now and will just be at Ground Zero Gaming. I wish him all the best going forward. So that's it for Australia. We're moving into Europe now, because why not? I don't know. We're doing it in random order. Who cares? So, Numlocked, a British tank player. He's going to be leaving Young and Beautiful and will no longer be assigned. He's going to be retiring, in fact. I wish him all the best going forward into whatever he does next. It's not the first time Numlocked has retired, I don't believe. Also, we have moves at 4th Dimension. This is them bringing in the Turkish DPS player Braven from Oldham Board. Oldham Board not doing too much now after their run in the EU recently. He'll be moving into 4th Dimension. 2 people coming out of there, though. This will be the British tank player Jaru. He will be no longer assigned, and the Swedish DPS player Love will be retiring. So I wish him all the best in going forward in whatever he does next. Then we have the French support player Nat, who will be leaving Vox Nihili and will no longer be assigned. I wish him all the best going forward. We also have another one out at Young and Beautiful. This is the Finnish support player Dollar. He will no longer be assigned, and I wish him all the best going forward as well. The 2 remaining for the European region, New Kings will be letting Afox, the Portuguese support, go. He will be retiring from Overwatch. I wish him all the best. And another retirement is the Italian tank player Shade from Sheer Cold. He will also be leaving the European region and Overwatch, and I wish him all the best in what he does in the future. But that is the European region. Now we're moving over to South America. A lot of moves here because the South American contenders region has been cancelled, basically. There is no more Pacific region for the contenders, and there's also now no longer a South American region either. They are maintaining the Australian region though, so there's been a lot of people moving out of South America. First of all, we see from El Salvador the support player Still Kiwi leaving Adventurous, or Aggressive I should say, and he will no longer be assigned. We also see the DPS player Pepe leaving Aggressive as well and will no longer be assigned. Moves out of Majestos. This will be the American support player Archer, the support player Cabimas, the American tank player Matt Merck, the Trinidad and Tobago tank player Coco, and then obviously the DPS player Edis D. They will all be leaving Majestos and will no longer be assigned after that team will no longer be competing in the South American region. The Brazilian support player Niola? Warpigs. Well, he's at Warpigs and will be retiring from Overwatch. I wish him all the best in whatever he does next. Also a retirement at Aggressive as well. This is the Chilean support player FEX Toid. That is a real rough name to say. There's a lot of people going out of SA though. So Brazilian tank player Neil, who will be leaving Dignity and will be retiring. I wish him all the best in going forward to whatever he does next. Brazilian DPS player Savenko will be leaving and they say, or ATS, and will no longer be assigned. I wish him all the best going forward as well. And then lastly, one more team to look at in SA. This is Vlog de Camonero. I hope I'm saying this right. They'll be letting 5 people go. This is 2 coaches. They're all Brazilian, by the way. This is 2 coaches, Frueki and Picanto, or Pequinato? I'm getting this so wrong. 2 tank players, Mayas Lupo and the Giaya? Again, sorry. And then the Brazilian DPS player Lucas for 42G will also be leaving. They will be leaving Vlog de Camonero and will no longer be assigned. This is all because of the end of the Contenders SA region, and we will see what happens going forward. I'm sure they'll have some sort of tournament like the Pacific did originally as well. Now we are going to move over to the big regions. First of all, we're going to go through NA, then we're going to go through Korea. There is a lot of moves here. So, in NA, we see 2 moves into Quara. This is the American support player Angel 1C and the German tank player Moose. They'll be coming into Quara and joining up with them. Susano will be letting go of the American tank player Akash. He will no longer be assigned. We have a lot of moves at Noble, all of them being left to unassigned. So this is the manager, Nvidia, the Canadian coach, Far Infer, the two American support players, Fishcake and Mudkip. The three tank players, I should say, 2 American, Cowman 711 and Odd. And then we have the Finnish tank player Milky Man, and then the 2 DPS players from America, Echo and Petal. They will all be leaving Noble and no longer be assigned. I wish them all the best in the future and how they find teams, because they all should find teams. We don't want to see people without teams. And then we have Landon. Landon is an American support player. He'll be moving from his 2-way contract to Susano and Northwood University. He'll be just turning out for Northwood University now, and I wish him all the best going forward. Then we have 2 players moving out of the Uprising Academy. So this is a slightly interesting one. They're moving into We Want Owl. We Want Owl is a new North American contenders team, and they will be competing in this new season. So this is, first of all, the 2 American DPS player Dove and Dynasty. They're going out of Uprising Academy and going into We Want Owl. And then they will be joined by a bunch of unassigned people. So this is translator Zhu Moon. He is Korean. The 2 managers, Jennifer and Hunt, so they're both American. Coach Tumblr, he is Korean. And then 2 American coaches, Fustus and Spackle. 2 American support players, Lep and Fix. And then 2 tank players, Gig and Vulcan. You'll know Gig from the Overwatch League not so long ago. They're all going into We Want Owl. I wish them all the best at there. Then we have one we've talked about before. This is into the Uprising Academy. This is Gabe Bulsey. He was with WGS Phoenix not so long ago and did very well in Korean contenders. This is a big pickup for Uprising Academy, and I wish him all the best with him in the off-tank role. He is pretty much our level, so that's a pretty massive pickup. American Tornado. They have signed permanently the American DPS player Wub after his inactivity at Revival and Loan period at American Tornado. They are clearly impressed with him and they will be signing him up. I wish him all the best there. A lot more moves at Quara once again. This is them letting go of the people we just mentioned as well. So, they let go of Angle 1C and Madero, 2 American support players. Then the British tank player Specs, the German tank player Moose, and the 2 American DPS players Anhu and Cabe all be leaving Quara, and I wish them all the best going forward. Then we have 1 out at Revival. This is McGravy, the off tank. He will be retiring as well. That is really unfortunate after his time at the LA Valiant, and I wish him all the best going forward. He is again another casualty of the Dennis Welker Award in the Overwatch League. Always ends up in retirement, unfortunately. Maximus will be leaving Susano. He is an American tank player and will no longer be assigned. I wish him all the best going forward. Shawful, Canadian DPS player. He was unassigned. He's now a streamer for Sentinels. I wish him all the best. Sentinels have a link to Los Angeles Gladiators, by the way, if you didn't know. So that's really interesting. Then we have more moves out of the Uprising Academy. This is four people moving out. So this is the French coach, Lara Nagar, the American DPS, American support player Pizza Demon, the French support player Dorado, and the British tank player Carry 19 will all no longer be assigned, and I wish them all the best going forward. Then we have moves into Dark Mode NA. This is the Trinidad and Tobago tank Coco coming in, and the Canadian DPS player Seeker coming in for Dark Mode NA. And then we have another move at the Uprising Academy with them letting go the Canadian tank player False. He will no longer be assigned. I wish him all the best going forward. 2 moves going out of Square 1. This is the Icelandic tank player Finzi and the American tank player Saleri. They will no longer be assigned and are looking for teams. And then lastly in NA we have Zerocious, who will be leaving Kratos, and he will no longer be assigned. That clears us up for North America. Now we go over to the Korean region. A lot of stuff going on here as well. So, Dark Mode Korea. They will be letting go, the Dark Mode NA will be letting go of Mozza actually. I don't know why that's on that part of the graphic. That's really weird. But starting off for Korea, we have Talon head coach. A new Talon head coach. This is the Korean coach Swingby. He coming in from no longer assigned. I wish him all the best at his new role in Talon. Then we see Fuse, the ex-London Spitfire support player. He'll be retiring from Overwatch, and I wish him all the best going forward. Babel, talking of London Spitfire, ex-London Spitfire DPS player going into Team BM. Going to be super interesting to see what he does at that team. I think he's a really good DPS player, and it's a really good pickup for Team BM. Then we see more moves. Gen.B have a nice support player called Vindime. He will be going inactive at Gen.B and will be going on loan at Owtru Blast. Interesting pickup for Owtru Blast right there. Clearly seen something in him. And Owtru Blast will also be picking up the unassigned Korean tank player Max to add to their roster as well. Super interesting from Owtru Blast. Then we have the big moves at WGS Phoenix. This is them letting go of 2 coaches, Dobby and Day One. They will no longer be assigned. And then we have some moves out of them as well in terms of players. This is 2 support players. This is Simple and Faith. Faith we now know, and we'll be commenting on in a minute how he is now at the Boston Uprising. Also, Gabrielsi and Enokas, they will be leaving on that tank role as well as Z-Bag. We know Gabrielsi also picked up a role at Uprising Academy. Then Valentine and Ace in the DPS roles will be leaving as well. Valentine being picked up by Boston Uprising, as we know. Also, the Korean support player Waffle will be leaving WGS Phoenix, but he won't be unassigned. He will be retiring from Overwatch, and I wish him all the best going forward. Then we have another incomer at Talon Esports. We have a few actually. One coming in from OZ Gaming. This is the Korean DPS player Develop. I wish him all the best at Talon Esports, as well as them picking up 4 unassigned players. This is the support Vigilante, the 2 tanks, Kellen and Attack, and then the DPS player He Sang. They will all be coming in to Talon Esports, and I wish them all the best. Ex-Overwatch League name coming up now in Illicit. DPS player, used to play for the Seoul Dynasty, is now turning out for Team BM alongside Babel. So there's a lot of ex-Al talent in that Team BM side right now. Dark Mode Korea will be picking up the tank player Think from unassigned. I wish him all the best at Dark Mode Korea. Owtru Blast will be picking up another tank player, Yahoo, from unassigned as well. Talon Esports will let go of the coach Sion, and he will no longer be assigned. Then we come to Runaway, who have let go of a few players. In fact, actually, some well-known players. This is the support Revenge, who had time at Hangzhou Spark, the tank player Huyol, the off-tank player who had time at London Spitfire, back in the very early days of Overwatch League, and then the DPS player Assassin, all leaving Runaway. Interesting times there. Sion, we just talked about just now, leaving Talon Esports. He is now coming in and will be part of Team BM. Team BM making a lot of moves in this off-season. It's very nice to see. They are keeping up with a lot of other teams right now in terms of what they're doing and the moves they're making. Team Diamond will be bringing in a load of people as well. This is Coach Miro. Yes, it is that Miro, the Lunatic High Seoul Dynasty Miro. Good to see him getting into coaching with Team Diamond. Alongside him, there will be players coming in as well. This is support player Quasid and Li Zhou, or Ligo, and then the tank player Silver Coin, alongside the 2 DPS players Becky and Griot. They will all be coming into Team Diamond. I wish them all the best under the stewardship and coaching of Miro going into the next season of Korean Contenders. 2 in the Owtru Blast trainee. This will be 2 DPS players, Probe and Jester. They will all be trying to prove themselves at Owtru Blast and get on in life. Then we have a new team completely coming up in Korea. This is called Ardor Korea. And they are going to have a mix of interesting stuff coming in, actually. So 2 managers. This is a split Korea USA management system. So this is Lava, who's Korean, and Event Horizon, who's American. Then we have a split coaching system. 1 Korean coach, Daheng, and then 1 British coach, Pirate Flag, who's a lot of experience in EU contenders. Super interesting. We don't see that very often. I don't think I've ever seen a British influence in Korea. Then we see 2 support players, Minjun and Kara, come in. All of these are Korean. And then we see 2 tank players, Jasmine and Action, come in as well. And then 3 DPS players, Split and Zenil Park, alongside Flynn's, will all be coming in to Ardor Korea. And we will see how they do. Very interesting team, and I'll keep an eye on them, definitely. Then we have 1 out at Gen.G. This is the general manager head coach, Zelgadis. They will no longer be assigned, and I wish them all the best going forward. And then a bunch of moves in at Dark Mode Korea as they set up for the new season. This is 2 support players, Arong and Overwatch. 3 tank players, Afrodi, Imolga, and Sung Jun. And then we have 2 DPS players, Vulture and Spera. They will all be coming into Dark Mode Korea, I should say, in preparation for this new season. And they are all coming in from White Mode Korea. Very interesting. Going from White Mode to Dark Mode. It's like turning your mode on Twitter. Anyway. Lastly, we go with the Overwatch League because, you know, that's what we always leave till last. This is going to be rounding out this video. My goodness, this has been a quick one. But anyway, we're going to start off with two people coming out of retirement. First of all, this is the tank player Jihoon coming into Guangzhou Charge. We've covered a lot of these already, so we're going to speed them through them quite quickly. Then we have the American DPS player Jake coming out of retirement and turning out again for the Houston Outlaws, I should say. Then we have the 2 players coming into Boston Uprising. This is the support player Faith and the DPS player Valentine, all coming in from WGS Phoenix, as we covered a little bit earlier. Then we have the Max Exodus at the Los Angeles Valiant, with Sungwoo, Gumba, and Unta all leaving the coaching roles, Rain and Lastro leaving in the support roles, Dreamer and Adam leaving in the tank roles, and Agilities and Kai and Shax all leaving in those DPS roles, and we will remain to see what happens with the Valiant. Valiant will also lose Packing 10 to retirement, who will be taking on the Valorant duties at Immortals. We will see what happens with the Valiant very, very soon. Then we see Shax, that ex-Valiant player, being picked up at the London Spitfire, and also moves at the Atlanta Reign as they offload the Swedish DPS player Sharp. This will be making way for the British DPS player Kai, also known as KSP, coming into the Atlanta Reign after him leaving the Los Angeles Valiant. And lastly, we see Lastro, the Korean support player, will be coming into Toronto Defiant, another one a victim of the Exodus of Los Angeles Valiant. And that is us done. Holy mother of God, that was a long one. Oh, I'm sorry if this has been a really lengthy one to listen to. It's been a quick fire one. There's been a lot to get through. There's been graphics changes, you can tell, and that's why you know it's been a long one when there's been a graphics change. But that has caught us all up to date now. We're still waiting on the Los Angeles Valiant and what they do with their probably Chinese roster, and also the moves going into the new contender season, which is not very far away, and OWL is not very far away either. We are midway through February coming up now, and OWL starts in April. BlizzCon is just around the corner. Super duper interesting stuff. Keep an eye on the San Francisco shop, because they've got a lot going on recently, and keep an eye on Illusion as well, because, you know, we always have stuff going on. Why not? Links are in the video description with all the socials and everything, including my own and Illusion as well. Thank you everyone for the support on the channel as per usual. But I will be leaving it here for this one. So thank you guys so much for this video. If you'd like to give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.